afternoon and welcome to the Maryland Public Service Commission. Today we are conducting a hearing on the record in the matter of case number 9056 and 9064 relating to standard offer service and bill impacts relating to SOS bids made on January 14, 2019. Good afternoon, Mr. Spivak. All right, are you ready to proceed with your first witness?
Good afternoon, Commissioners, and yes, staff is ready. Staff calls James Lesseltzer to the stand, please.
Yes. Please remain standing.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm under the penalties of perjury that statements made in this matter today are the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your full name.
James C. Letzelter.
Spell your last name.
Letzelter.
And give me your business address, please.
Yes, the address is 1451 Quentin Road, Suite 400 in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, 17042.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Mr.
Thank you.
Lloyd.
Good afternoon, Dr. Letseltzer.
Mr. Lloyd, do you have any testimony you wanted to enter into the record?
I'm about to.
Oh, sorry.
I just need to get it authenticated first.
Very good.
Dr. Letseltzer, do you have in front of you a document consisting of 10 pages of question and answer testimony?
Yes, I do.
Is that document captioned in case numbers 9056 and 9064?
Yes.
Okay. Did you prepare this document, or was it prepared by somebody under your direct supervision?
Yes.
Do you have any additions, deletions, or other corrections you would like to make at this time?
No.
If the questions were asked of you now as they were asked in this document, would your answers be the same?
Yes.
And do you adopt this document as part of your sworn testimony in this proceeding?
Yes.
Your Honor, staff requests that Dr. Letzelter's testimony be marked as Staff Exhibit 1, and further requests that it be admitted into the evidentiary record.
Okay, Mr. Letzeller's testimony is so marked as Staff Exhibit 1 and moved into evidence.
Thank you. And the witness is available for cross-examination.
Are there any questions? If not, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. The Commission's staff calls David Hoppick to the stand, please.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm under the penalties of perjury that statements made in this matter today are the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your full name.
David Hoppa,
Spell your last name.
Hoppock.
Give me your business address.
6 St. Paul Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21202.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Hoppick.
Good afternoon.
Do you have in front of you a document captioned in Commission case numbers 9056 and 9064 titled The Commission Staff's Report on the Standard Offer Service Bidding Process and Results for 2019 through 2020 and dated January 18th, 2019?
I do.
Does the document consist of 11 pages of information presented in both text and table form?
It does.
Did you prepare this document, or was it prepared under your direct supervision?
It was.
Do you have any additions, deletions, or other corrections you would like to make at this time?
I do not.
And if you were subject to questions on the topics, on the subject matter of this document, would your answers contain the same information?
They would.
You adopt this document as part of your sworn testimony in this proceeding.
I do.
Your Honor, staff requests the Commission staff report be marked as Staff Exhibit Number 2, and staff further moves that it be admitted into the evidentiary record.
Mr. Hoppick's staff report is marked as Staff Exhibit 2 and moved into evidence.
And the witness is available for cross-examination.
Are there any questions from staff, from commissioners? Commissioner O'Donnell?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Hoppick, would you briefly describe bill impacts for us for these classes in this, in your document so that we have a sense of what this is actually going to do to the
Certainly.
bills.
So this report covers Potomac Edison residential standard offer service projected bill impacts, as well as type 2 SOS bill impacts for all the utilities, Potomac Electric Power Company, Delmarva Power and Light, Baltimore Gas and Electric, and Potomac Electric, resulting from the January 14, 2019 bid process. I will review the residential results first, and then the type 2 results for each utility individually. Please turn to page 2. So this page shows the bill impact for Potomac Edison residential customers, and what we are comparing here are average annual residential bills for the period from June 2018 through May 2019 to June 2019 through May 2020. So the current period to the projected period for the new rates. For average customers, bills will decrease approximately 5%. This translates into a reduction in annual bill of about $75. And the SOS power supply portion of the bill will decrease approximately 9%. The table below shows the impacts for customers with electric heat and customers who do not use electric heat, as well as the average. I will go through those shortly. I would also note that Potomac Edison has bid 100% of its residential load for the period from June 2019 through May 2020. Starting with customers who use electric heat, their bill for the period from June 2018 through May 2019 is approximately $1,682 a year. That is projected to decrease about 5%, which translates into approximately an $86 reduction in their annual bill. For customers who do not have electric heat, their current average bill is approximately $1,234 a year. That is projected to decrease again about 5%, which translates into about a $66 reduction. And then the average residential customer across both customers with electric heat and who do not use electric heat, their bill is decreasing also approximately 5%, from about $1,442 to approximately $1,370, approximately a 75% decrease. And then finally, the SOS portion of the bill, as I said, is decreasing on the order of 9%. So unless there are any questions on residential, I was going to turn next to type 2 bill impacts. Please turn to page 4. This portion of the report compares average bill impacts for type 2 distribution classes for the period from March 2018 through May 2018, so last spring, to the forthcoming spring, March 2019 through May 2019. In addition, there's also a comparison of the rates themselves for the current type 2 rates for this current winter period to the forthcoming type 2 spring rates. There's a table summary, but I will review each utility's results individually. Please turn to page 7. So this shows the results for type 2 Potomac Edison distribution customers. The range in change in bills from the period from March through May of 2018 through March through May of 2019 is approximately a 1 to 3% increase in bills. staff notes that Potomac Edison has 5 distribution classes that include Type 2 SOS customers. These are Schedule PH, Schedule CSH, Schedule CA, Schedule C, and Schedule G. Staff notes that 3 of these classes are no longer open to new customers. These include CSH, CA, and C. And then supply rates from winter to the current winter SOS supply rates themselves to the forthcoming spring rates have decreased on the order of approximately 14%. So looking at the individual distribution classes in the table below, Schedule PH sees approximately a 3% increase in its bill from the 3-month period from March through May of 2019 compared to March through May of 2018. Looking at the next row in the table, classes C and G, I wanted to note we have made a change in how we are presenting the data here. Previously, we presented results for both Class C and Class G. As I just noted, Class C is closed to new customers, and as well, Class G has considerably more customers than Class G. Class G has considerably more customers than Class C. Given this, we have decided to just show the average bills for Class G. And the average bills for Class G for the 3-month period from March through May 2019 are estimated to be approximately 1% higher than they were from March through May of 2018. And then finally, in the bottom row, Schedule CA and CSH. Those classes see an approximate bill increase for, again, that 3-month period, March through May 2019, compared to March through May of last year of approximately 3%. I would note that both of these classes are closed. And then looking at the change in just the supply rate itself, winter to spring, we see a decrease of approximately 14%. Turning next,
before you go on, is that G class typically the government class? What is that?
that is the general class.
General class.
That's the general class. So it's the smallest of the general classes, and then there are larger classes such as PH still open above that.
Okay.
Turning next to Baltimore Gas and Electric. Again, we're comparing 3 months of average bills from March through May of 2019 for the same period in 2018, and we're seeing an increase in the range of 4 to 5%. BG&E has 4 distribution classes that have Type 2 SOS customers. These are Schedule G, GS, GL, and P. Class G is going to see an average bill increase of approximately 5%, as will Class GS, and the average bill increase for Class GL is approximately 4%. We are not providing an estimate for Class P because so few of the Class P customers still take SOS service. So it's hard to provide what we believe is an accurate average result when you have a very small sample size and then so few of the customers are actually receiving SOS service. And then the range of change in just the supply rate itself from the current winter rate to the forthcoming spring rate is approximately a 15 to 16% decrease.
Does that conclude your testimony?
I I have two more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm quite
Pause, I
sorry.
apologize.
I was pausing. I didn't know if folks had a question. I apologize. Turning next to Delmarva Power and Light on page 9. Again, comparing March through May of 2019 to March through May of 2018, we see a range of increase in average bills of 3 to 13%. Staff notes that other than the class SGS, which is the smaller commercial class, well more than half of the customers have switched to retail supply. Looking at the classes individually, small general service average bills are expected to increase about 5%, large general service about 13%, and general service primary about 3%. And the range in change in the supply rate itself from winter to spring is about a 21 to 16% decrease. And then finally, please turn to page 10 for Potomac Electric Power Company SOS customers. Energy bills for the 3-month period from May to March 2019 are increasing approximately 8% for both classes for the same period in 2018. We also note that both classes, less than half the customers remain on standard offer service. Additionally, for both classes, the supply rate itself from the current winter period to the forthcoming spring period is decreasing about 10%. And that concludes my summary of staff's report.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Do commissioners have any questions? Seeing none, the witness is excused. Mr. Spivak, do you have anything else?
Your Honor, I've been reminded that I really should have asked Dr. Letzoser to summarize his testimony. If I might, I'd like to recall him for that purpose, just for the record's sake.
That's good, yeah. Please, why don't you return to the stand? I could have probably asked you to, but anyway, we'd like to hear a summary of your testimony.
Still under oath.
He is under oath. Is that still? Okay.
Okay.
Please proceed.
I'm an energy industry consultant with Liberty Consulting Group, and I serve as the technical monitor, and I oversee the supply procurement for SOS service for the facilities. I'm also responsible for calculating the price anomaly threshold values, the PAT values. The most important part of my testimony, to summarize, is that I recommend that the Commission accept the most recent procurement results that were held on the 14th of January. There are 4 primary reasons for that. First, the averages of the winning prices for each of the residential blocks were below the respective PAT numbers. Second, the bid prices were consistent with market conditions. Third, the auction process as a whole was performed fairly and consistently with the RFP. And fourth, there was sufficient competition from suppliers. There were 6 bidders in this tranche, as opposed to 8 in last year's Tranche 2, which is obviously 2 fewer participants, but the results still indicate a healthy level of competition. So based on these findings, I recommend the Commission accept the results, and that concludes the summary.
Great, thank you very much. Do commissioners have questions? Seeing none, the witness is excused.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Spivak, do you have anything further?
We do not, Your Honor. Staff concludes this case.
Okay, thank you. Does any other party wish to testify today? Seeing none, this hearing is adjourned.